So, here today we have Oluyinka Davids. Thank you for joining me, and I'm really excited to hear more about your new series that's coming up, Prim and Proper.
Mhm.
So, starting off, the Prim and Proper is a reality TV series. It will examine the lifestyle of young Nigerians living in America and also will be showing the challenges faced and showing real life problems. Can you tell me a little bit more about the show? And also, please feel free to share about yourself.
All right. Thank you so much, Nico. I appreciate this, interview. My name is Oluyinka Davids. Um, as a filmmaker, my passion lies in telling African stories, that resonates with a global audience. My niche is in interborder storytelling, where I explore the connections and relationship between different cultures and communities. Through my work, I aim to empower the history of Black race and shed light on the often overlooked contributions and experiences of African people. I am committed to creating films that challenge stereotypes, and misconceptions, while celebrating the diversity and richness of African culture. Basically, yeah, I've done a couple of productions before, Prim and Proper. One of them is called Akuna, and then Akuna means prostitute, in Igbo language, right? So it's actually a story of survival, you know. And then our popular Nollywood actress Stella Damasos, who played the lead role, chose prostitution as a means to survive in a foreign land, So it's very interesting story. The teaser and the right now is a short film, but I'm currently working on developing it into a feature. Okay, so the trailer is on YouTube. You can check it out if you have some time. Then I also worked on a project called Stay. It's a feature and it's a suicide prevention movie I directed. I worked with a producer called Imalbong Smart. She's also a Dallas-based, filmmaker. So the movie is out there. It's on Amazon Prime. You can also check that out. Yeah. So having said that about myself, so Prim and Proper, yeah. So Prim and Proper is also another project. I mean, that's like the most recent one. Um, Prim and Proper was actually important to me because it's a reflection of my personal experience as an immigrant in the United States. I wanted to showcase the immigrant's perspective because it is often overlooked, in mainstream media. And I believe that sharing our stories, can help to break down cultural barriers and promote empathy, and understanding. You understand? So through the show, I hope to convey the message that immigrants are an integral part of America's society and that we contribute positively to our communities. I wanted to challenge, stereotypes and encourage viewers to see immigrants as individuals with unique stories, and experiences. Most of the time when I get to talk to people, everybody has a story. You understand? Everybody as an immigrant, whether you are, whatever race, you belong, where you come from, everyone has a story. I just thought it's high time that we start to tell those stories, so people can learn and then people can also see, the world from other people's perspective. You know what I mean? So ultimately, I hope that Prim and Proper, we promote dialogue and also encourage viewers to consider the impact of immigration policies on real people and families, basically. Yeah. I can hear you, Nicole. I think you're muted.
Thank you.
All
Uh,
right.
so, tell me, when did you first start creating films and what continues to inspire you throughout your journey?
Okay, so I've been doing this for over 16 years now. Um, I was opportune to attend a film school in South Africa where I actually had to brush up on my, natural, talent, of filmmaking. And I'm inspired by life. I'm inspired by other people's stories. I'm inspired by anything that can change our world and make us, better people. And like I mentioned when I was introducing myself, I am very focused in telling interborder, related stories, especially anything that is related to the, African, race. So yeah,
Great. So with your upbringing and your background, how
yeah.
do you think that influenced the production of Prim and Proper?
Um, okay. Well, growing up for me was kind of interesting because I'm telling you, I grew up in a very strict clergy family where I wasn't really opportune to know a lot of things until I got to college, So but I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I was able to figure on time where my passion lies. So my first passion was actually for music, but I couldn't do music because I was not encouraged. So, and then of course the next, I won't say the second, but the other passion I had was filmmaking. I love camera since I was a little boy, and that developed into what I am today. And I'm glad I was able to discover myself on time. And so, and I kind of follow up on it. It was a bit difficult because at first my parents didn't see how you can make something key and important out of what filmmaking is today. So, but I'm glad that against all odds, I was able to follow my passion, and I am here today. So I would say it does because my upbringing kind of helped shaped my orientation, as to how I see life and how I was able to, chase after what I love to do, which is filmmaking. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. My parents are immigrants, so sometimes I notice that my parents find it hard to see that my career is, going to evolve but yeah, we're showing them.
Yeah, I know.
We're proving them right.
Yes. Now they can see it, like, oh, wow. So this was what you wanted to do. Oh, we didn't know you can actually make, a good living out of, camera. I'm like, okay, but now you know you can see. So
Yes, absolutely. It's different over there for them, I'm sure, growing up. So it must be really amazing to see it evolve.
yes, 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 it is.
So I'm interested in the show and how it's going to be produced. So will
Mm.
any parts of it be scripted or is it all reality?
Um, it's actually an unscripted reality, as we've always said. But of course, when we say, how it is in TV production, even when you say it's unscripted, there's definitely still going to be some sort of story guide, what's it called? Directional brief, as to what you want to achieve with each scenes and all that. But every story that is told, everything that we reenact in there are real true stories of these real people. You understand? And I was actually inspired to create this series because, I wanted to share stories that I felt were underrepresented, in the mainstream media. And as a filmmaker, like I said earlier, I am passionate about telling stories that are often overlooked or ignored. So I wanted to create a series that not only entertained, but also educate and shed light on issues that affect people's life, in this case, immigrants living in America. Okay. And when it comes to selecting the cast, I wanted to work with individuals who had unique stories to tell and who could bring their own perspectives, to the series. So I reached out to people within my network and selected, those who I felt I felt had compelling stories and who would be able to contribute meaningfully to the series, you know. But overall, I mean, my goal was to create a diverse and dynamic cast that would showcase a wide range of experiences and perspectives. And I think we achieved that, you know, eventually. You're muted. Sorry.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
But what were some of the challenges that you faced, and I guess what did you learn from them?
Okay, yeah. Um, one of the biggest challenges we faced while filming this series was working with the limited budgets. You know, we had to find creative ways, you know, to stretch our resources while still delivering a high quality product. You know, to overcome this challenge, we prioritized um, careful planning and organization. You know, we developed a detailed shooting schedule and timeline, you know, which allowed us to make the most of our limited resources and shoot efficiently, you know. So it was quite interesting, and I learned a lot from that because I, for a person, I like to put my best in anything I do. So we didn't have all the budgets to make it, you know, like, you know, the standard I wanted, but I told myself, you know, with this little resources we have, I want to make the best of it. You know, I want to see the best we can. So let me give you a background story about this show. It was actually meant for YouTube. You understand? Our goal is let's do this and put it on YouTube. So in on July 1st last year, when we first released Prim and Proper, I'm sure if you go on YouTube right now, you will find the first teaser we released. It was on July 1st in 2022 last year. So and then, you know, it came out so good. And everybody was like, are you kidding me? This is too good. This is too good to be on YouTube. Oh my God. This is a professional, you know, this is a high quality, this is this and that. I'm like, okay. You know, in the first week, we had over 50,000 views on YouTube. It was so encouraging. I'm like, okay, it seems people love it, you know, comments here and there, the reviews. I was like, oh my God, wow. So we released episode 1 in hopes to release episode 2, you know, in like another 2 weeks or, you know, later on. And then I got I got a mail from some friend who, you know, told me that someone saw it and they wanted to reach out to me. And guess what? It was a distributor that could get it on Amazon and Tubi. And then he spoke to me like, this thing is really good. I'm like, yeah, I know, right? But I mean, I've tried my best, but this this is all we could do for now. And then he's like, no, okay, please, is it possible for you to pull it down? Let me see what I can do distribution wise. And I'm like, yeah, sure, of course. That's what I want. That's what I want. So we pulled it down from YouTube and then he took it and then we signed some contracts, you know, and then he go back to me and says, you know what, we got approved on Tubi. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, that sounds amazing. Okay, so we had to pull it down, and then you know we did some re-editing, you know, and we did some redesign of the poster and all of that, and then we got on Tubi. So when we released it, like 2 weeks ago on Tubi, so it seemed like to some people, oh, this is new. We never saw this. I'm like, we were making a lot of noise about this same content some months back, and well, I'm glad that we are where we are, you know. So, and I'm so excited that, you know, that paid off because, I mean, like I said, I love to put in my best in everything I do. I never saw this going beyond YouTube, to be very honest. My aim was just to do something, you know, interesting and something people can relate, a relatable content that can entertain people on YouTube. And then here we are, we're on Tubi, and very soon we'll be on Amazon Prime because we're working on it.
Wow, congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you. And then before yeah, to further answer the last question. So we also face the challenge of telling emotionally charged stories, right? In a sensitive and respectful manner. Because think about it, these are people's personal story, right? And sometimes it gets so emotional while we are filming. So we have to be mindful of the cast's feeling and experiences while also being true to the story we are telling, right? So to overcome this challenge, we created a safe and supportive environment on set where the cast could feel comfortable, sharing their experiences. And then we also work closely with the cast to ensure that the story were being told in a way that felt authentic and respectful, because authenticity for me was a big deal. And I had to assure that every story that was told, and in the way that we are telling their stories, kind of reflects authenticity. Yep.
That's beautiful. Tell me, how did the title Prim and Proper come to be?
Ooh, that's a very okay. So Prim and Proper, because when I was thinking about the show, so my first aim is to challenge the stereotypes. And there's this perspective about Nigerians where people actually don't get to really understand who we really are, and I'm like, okay, what can I do? How can I portray or express these visuals or this content in a way that people can, begin to see us differently? Do you understand? So I'm like, you know what? Can I do something that is so, so elegant and so beautiful that you almost cannot take your eye off the screen, looking at it. And I'm like, okay. I knew I wanted to pay attention to styling, the way they look, the set design, their aesthetics, and then the overall look and feel of the content. So based on these elements, so while I was, making, checking what name could fit, for the show. And I'm like, Prim and Proper. Okay. So these people had a story of where they're coming from, and then they got to a point where they can say, okay, it was a journey, but now we're successful, things got better for us as an immigrant, in the United States. So you can literally use the word Prim, things are prim now, everything is proper, even though I went through that journey, but it made sense in the end. So I'm like, okay, prim and proper, yes, yes, prim and proper. And everybody loved it. Like, okay, that's a beautiful name. I was like, okay, that's it. That's how we got the name.
And so, from reading your biography, you wear many hats in the film industry. So tell me a little bit more about those positions and what you enjoy being in the industry.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. So from reading your biography, you have many hats that you wear while being a filmmaker. You're a director, you work with the camera equipment. Tell me just a little bit more about your positions and what you enjoy in the industry overall.
Okay. Wow. Good question. Okay, so one thing I can say is that passion drove me into making films. And then I didn't just start, I actually started from the bottom. I started from being a production assistant on set, even without getting paid. I remember there were times that I just want to be on set. I just want to be of help. I just want to be part of any production. Don't worry about the money. I didn't even care at that point, So I started from there. And then I got to a point where I had access to cameras and I started taking a look at it. I was so interested, even before I got a formal education about, cinematography, learning about camera and the technicalities of filmmaking. I had done, you know, a lot of research about some of these things. So I would take a look at the camera. I would like looking at it so closely, studying how, it's been made and how it's been used. I remember, let me tell you this story. I remember in my church then, I was still a teenager. So there is this guy that comes to church with a camera and film the services. And then I would go to this guy after service. I'm like, please, can I touch it? And then I'll touch. Can I carry it? And then I'll carry it. Can you tell me what this is for? Then he would tell me this is the lens, this is the shutter speed, this is that. So I started, putting all those knowledge together. And then I got to a point where I was able to buy. I remember I had a phone one time. It's a Sony Ericsson phone, And that's where I started to film things myself. I would go record, I would go out to record some things, I'll come back, I'll transfer it to the system, and then I'll try to edit those rushes. So I got, I started growing that, interest and passion. And then, of course, from learning about how to record on the camera, I moved to learning how to edit them, you know. And then after it was after all of that, I was able to go to a film school and I learned how, all these things are done properly. So it was really helpful because I already had, a lot of knowledge and already my passion was so keen in like being the best in all of it. So yeah, so basically, um, I can be a cinematographer, I can be a director because I love to tell stories, I can be an editor. Actually, 85% of Prim and Proper I edited myself, you know, because sometimes, when you want to tell a story as a storyteller, there's a way the idea sits in your head and you are not sure if the editor or whoever, especially if you can do it. So I'll be like, you know what? I'll take my time. Let me do it the way I know it's in my head, and I'm able to edit it the way I see it. So when I edited episode 1, I was able to show the editor, this is what I'm talking about. And then all he did was just follow, the template I created with episode 1 to edit the rest of the episodes. And then of course it still came back to me. I did the color correction myself and then I did the sound, editing also. So yeah, I can be so many things. I just want to tell stories. I want to make sense to, my audience. And I mean, it is what it is.
Can you share any exciting news about the show so far? Do you know any specific numbers like views or what have you noticed through the process so far?
um, so far, we don't have any official feedback from the platform yet. I think that can only happen after 3 months. So but again, I've got a lot of reviews. I'm telling you, people going to watch the show on Tubi and sending me, beautiful reviews. And I'm telling you, I'm so pumped and encouraged. So we're actually already preparing to go film season 2, you know, because I'm telling you, the comment was so many people felt it was different, the quality, picture quality, the sound, audio was, so nice. And then the way the stories are being told, especially how we were able to merge entertainment with telling emotionally crafted story, so I think that made a lot of sense to a lot of people who reached out. So I'm so pumped, encouraged, to do some more. So I'm hoping that we are able to get all the fundings that we are seeking, so we are able to do it more and even better, So yeah.
Amazing. And tell me, hypothetically, if there were no budget limitation, what
Yeah.
would you have loved to see with the show or through the production?
Whoa. Well, I think I will tell more stories. I'll tell more stories. I will involve more cast. I'll make it bigger. Trust me. The budget constraint didn't really allow us to properly reenact some of the stories that were being told, in the show. So um when if we had the kind of budgets, I think I would have told more stories. I would have involved more cast, and then I would have just done more, And of course, I believe that the quality would have been definitely better. Even though people feel this is amazing, this is good, but trust me, it can be better, and it definitely would have been better. Yeah. So that's what I would do if I had a better budget.
Right. So, just finishing off here, can you
Yeah.
give us any exclusive or major announcements or any exciting news that's coming up?
Oh yes. Okay. I'm working on a I'm working on a documentary, which actually was the mother project to Prim and Proper. So this documentary has been living in my head for years, and so again, because of budget constraint, we had to do something that's, kind of smaller, but almost the same thing. But the difference is this one is a documentary. I'm telling, it's called, I've never said the title anyway, so I'm gonna keep that for now. Again, it's about the history and stories of my dear country, Nigeria, Nigerians living um, outside of Nigeria. So I don't know if I should say this right now because I've never said anything about this project before. And I think I would love to still, keep it for a while. But I'm starting work on it pretty soon. By the end of this month, we'll start to film. And then trust me, I will definitely let you guys know when it is time, to put out some information about the project. But trust me, I'm working on something new, and I think everyone who loves Prim and Proper would definitely love this documentary.
Amazing. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing. Is there anything else you'd like to share for people watching or for people interested in the show?
Yes. I mean, so I wanted to say that, there was one thing that I think sets Prim and Proper apart from other reality series and what viewers can expect from the show. Prim and Proper is unique in that it offers a fresh perspective, to the immigrant experience in the United States. So exploring, the challenges, the triumphs, and day-to-day realities of a diverse group of individuals. And like I said, these are real people, and real stories. Every story you see, you watch, or hear in that reality series are peculiar to the individual that are telling, those stories. So what sets it apart is its emphasis on authenticity and sincerity. And that is because I wanted people to see it for what it is. We are not trying to bother anything, or we are trying to tell it as it is so that people get to know the reality of things, especially those that are still back home in Africa who aspire to also relocate and migrate, to America or any other part of the world where the feel is better. So viewers can expect to be entertained and engaged, definitely, you know, while also getting a deeper understanding of the immigrant experience and the challenges that comes with building a new life in a foreign land. Do you understand? So yeah, basically that's what I would say. So it's just to encourage someone and say, no matter how it looks or how it feels, some people have been where you are, and they survived, they made it. So some of these stories will serve as an encouragement to anybody who is watching and say, oh, so is either you can relate to it or it gives you hope, like, okay, oh, okay, if Yemi can make it, I can too. If Shegun can make it, oh, I can too. Okay, oh wow. So they went through these things too. Okay, I'm encouraged. So that's like, my goal, and that would be my word of encouragement to anyone watching the show.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing about your journey, and I wish you the best of luck with it all.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you a lot.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.